Hello. Amazing. Thank you both so much. You can, and I will even do.
Good morning. We're going to get started in about 2 minutes. If you could find your seats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good Yontif. Gemar Tov. Welcome to BWC Yom Kippur 5785. It's wonderful to be here with you all today, whether you're joining us in person or online. My name is Eric Fishman. I'll be supporting our wonderful many readers today as MC. I've become involved with BWC in the past few years, and I feel so grateful to be part of a community that helps me connect with my Jewishness and with my ancestors as a foundation for working for a more just world for all of us. A few orientation notes before we begin. If you have a cell phone, which many of us probably do, please turn those off or on Do Not Disturb. Thank you so much. If you do have to get up at any point during the service, please avoid crossing in front of our ASL interpreters over here. If you do need to use the restroom, we have restrooms available on both sides. If you go down the stairs back there, and there's also one over here. The same thing is true for the emergency exits. We have a number of community safety volunteers present today to support us in gathering safely. You can tell who they are because they have bright neon vests. And if you need any assistance finding your way or have a safety concern, you're welcome to check in with any of them. Thank you, everyone, for wearing masks today to protect all of us, and especially those who are most vulnerable. Please keep it on at all times when you're inside the building, except for those who are reading. You can take it off when you're reading. In this moment, as we're here together, take a moment to turn to someone near you that you don't yet know and introduce yourself. Same thing for online attendees. This will be via chat. Thanks so much. I invite you to continue these wonderful introductions and conversations after today. And with that, I'd like to welcome up our first reader. Wow, it's so wonderful to see how enthusiastic we all are to welcome each other. Thank you so much.
Gut Yontif. Today we end the 10 days of awe, the period from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur. It is a time for honest self-reflection, forgiveness, and healing, a time of cleansing, reconnection, and realigning with each other and our best selves, a time of turning anew to better hit the mark. We acknowledge that we are meeting on the ancient homeland and traditional territory of the Massachusetts people. Boston Workers Circle now pays a voluntary land tax to the Massachusetts tribe at Ponkapoag as a symbolic gesture acknowledging the historical dispossession of indigenous lands and a way to support tribal sovereignty and economic development. We pay respect to Massachusetts people's past, present, and future, and their continuing presence in their homeland and throughout the Massachusetts diaspora.
As members of this year's Zion class, the B'nai Mitzvah class, we are honored to participate in our Boston Worker Circle community by leading the candle lighting. May these lights kindle reflection and introspection. May they guide us toward forgiveness, compassion, and meaningful connections in this new year.
For For the Hebrew blessing, we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvosav, v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Yom Tov. In Ladino
we say, saludamos el nuevo año según la tradición de nuestro pueblo, que empiece con el sonido del Shofar, un año de paz y de libertad para todos.
In Yiddish, we say, Wir begrüßen dem neuen Jahr, soll der Klang von Trua anheben ein Jahr von Shalom und Freiheit für alle Menschen.
In English, that means, we welcome the new year in the tradition of our people. May the sound of the shofar bring a year of peace and freedom for all people. With these lights, we welcome the Yontif. In their glow of the contrasting colors we discern the light and dark of our days. We recall all the disappointments and joys we have shared, and the hopes and new intentions we now nurture for the new year.
In the traditions of our people, we voice our joy and gratitude for our continuing life together as a community.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
The meaning of the holiday. Tradition holds that on Rosh Hashanah, the Book of Life is opened, and on Yom Kippur, it is sealed. Tradition holds that a reflection on the year has concluded, and our turning toward the year ahead during the past 10 days has inscribed, or not, our names in the Book of Life. Today, we understand this inscription metaphorically as a call to right action and justice, to love and humility, to staying awake to our lives and the hearts of those around us.
Some of us fast on Yom Kippur. For some, the sacrifice of fasting can show desire and willingness to turn towards a better way. Sacrifice can also remind us that we are capable of self-control. Some fast to focus the mind on the spirit of the holiday. Some fast to sense hunger, to feel a fraction of the suffering of those who are always hungry. The Talmud says that after people eat, they have one heart for themselves, alone. When people fast, they have two hearts, one for themselves and one for all who are hungry.
Public fasting is undertaken to acknowledge the harm caused by systemic violence. Fasting is a form of public lament and a call to action. Fasting is a communal act meant to begin a process of reconciliation, teshuvah. Fasting is also a ritual of solidarity to clarify where we stand, that is, with those experiencing harm. Rabbi Lynn Gottlieb.
Is this the fast I have chosen? The day for people to suffer? Is it bowing the head like a bulrush and lying in sackcloth and ashes? Is this what you call fasting? No, this is not the fast that I've chosen. To remove the chains of wickedness and the yoke of injustice, to let the oppressed go free. It is to share your bread with the hungry and to open your home to those with no home. When you see the naked, to clothe them, and not to ignore your own kin. Then shall your light burst through like the dawn. Is not this the fast that I have chosen?
Thank you. For some, fasting is a choice. For some, fasting presents a different kind of challenge, where fasting is neither safe nor healthy. For those for whom fasting is harmful, eating on Yom Kippur is a spiritual act. The act of eating can be framed in a positive, constructive way as an act of teshuvah within acts of self-preservation. A prayer for eating on Yom Kippur. As I prepare to eat on Yom Kippur, may I find meaning. As I nourish my body, heart, mind, and soul, may comfort envelop me. May I find teshuvah by returning to my inner light, by returning to my true self. May I find a community who will hold me as I am, for who I am, adapted from a mitzvah for eating, to eat.
Col Nidre. Col Nidre is not a prayer. Rather, it is a legal formula whose purpose is to void vows of the coming year that we will not be able to fulfill. It has been said that Col Nidre was used to release Spanish Jews who had been forced under pain of death to convert to Catholicism from the vows that they were required to make as part of that conversion. We can learn from Col Nidre that while it is a powerful thing to promise something, and we should strive to live up to it, when we cannot, we need to forgive ourselves. We invite all to read together. All vows, promises, and commitments we make between this Yom Kippur and the next Yom Kippur, may we have the strength to keep them.
Col Nidre, versare, ushavue, vecharame, vekoname, vekinuse, vechiduye.
The Shma is often considered the singular statement of belief in Judaism. Many Jews have lived and died chanting these words. We sing the Shma today with many voices to express our unity as a community, to honor the principle that we must all stay true to our own beliefs and speak them with pride and dedication. Listen up and to one another, people. Though we are many, we are also one. Are you ready?
Shma Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
A house called tomorrow. You are not 15 or 12 or 17. You are 100 wild centuries, and 15, bringing with you in every breath and in every step everyone who has come before you, all the yous that you have been, the mothers of your mother, the fathers of your father. If someone in your family tree was trouble, 100 were not. The bad do not win, not finally, no matter how loud they are. We simply would not be here if that were so. You were made fundamentally from the good. With this knowledge, you never march alone. You are the breaking news of the century. You are the good who has come forward through it all, even if so many days feel otherwise. But think, when you as a child learned to speak, it's not that you didn't know words. It's that from the centuries you knew so many, and it's hard to choose the words that will be your own. From those centuries, we human beings bring with us the simple solutions and songs, the river bridges and star charts and song harmonies, all in service to a simple idea, that we can make a house called tomorrow. What we bring finally into the new day, every day, is ourselves, and that's all we need to start. That's everything we require to keep going. Look back only for as long as you must, then go forward into the history you will make. Be good, then better. Write books, cure disease, make us proud, make yourself proud. And those who came before you, when you hear thunder, hear it as their applause. Alberto Rios.
Unatana Tokef. On Rosh Hashanah will be inscribed, and on Yom Kippur will be sealed. How many will pass from the earth, and how many will be created? Who will live and who will die? Who by water and who by fire? Who by upheaval and who by plague? Who will rest and who will wander? Who will live in harmony and who will be harried? Who will enjoy tranquility and who will suffer? Who will be impoverished and who will be enriched? Who will be humbled and who will be exalted? At the turning of the year, we look back, look ahead, and see that we are always in the days in between.
What we are shapes what we become. Unatana Tokef tells us that the child is parent to the adult, but it tells us also that we are capable of changing the outcome through tefillah, tzedakah, and teshuvah. Tefillah, called prayer, derives from the word for honest self-reflection. Tzedakah, commonly called charity, derives from the word tzaddik, a person who acts justly towards others. Teshuvah, commonly translated as repentance, refers to repentance from chet, the Hebrew word for sin. This word has its origins in archery, where it meant missing the mark. Such is the Jewish concept of sin, the missing of one's goal, losing sight of the important things in life. But there is another way to understand teshuvah. The word can be translated to mean turning to hit the mark, turning back to ourselves and our values and our capacities to act justly in community and in the world. Our Jewish tradition calls us to honest self-reflection, justice, and turning. We must ask ourselves if we have hit the mark as individuals, as members of families, and as members of our communities.
Shoulders. A man crosses the street in rain, stepping gently, looking 2 times north and south because his son is asleep on his shoulder. No car must splash him, no car drive too near to his shadow. This man carries the world's most sensitive cargo, but he's not marked. Nowhere does his jacket say, fragile, handle with care. His ear fills up with breathing. He hears the hum of a boy's dream deep inside him. We're not going to be able to live in this world if we're not willing to do what he's doing with one another. The road will only be wide. The rain will never stop falling. Naomi Shihab Nye from Red Suitcase.
There's no place in this world where I'll belong when I'm gone, and I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone, and you won't find me singing on this song when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. Won't see the golden of the sun when I'm gone, and the evenings and the mornings will be one when I'm gone. Can't be singing louder than the guns when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. All my days won't be dances of delight when I'm gone, and the sands will be shifting from my sight when I'm gone. Can't add my name into the fight when I'm gone, so I guess I'll have
to do it while I'm here. And I won't be laughing at the lies when I'm gone. And I can't question how or when or why when I'm gone. Can't live proud enough to die when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. There's no place in this world where I'll belong when I'm gone. And I won't know the right from the wrong when I'm gone. And you won't find me singing on this song when I'm gone. So I guess I'll have to do it while I'm here. So I guess we'll have to do it while we're here.
The meaning of Kippur. The word Kippur is commonly translated as atonement, but a more literal translation is covering sin. This means that there is no abstract forgiveness or absolution. Our actions cannot be undone. Instead, we cover or repair the action and begin afresh. We can make amends. We can seek to do better in the future, understanding that true forgiveness is between people. We do not request atonement from some supernatural being, but rather we take it upon ourselves to repair and cover our actions and to begin afresh. And we will take particular responsibility for righting the wrongs specific to our national history, as well as those we wish to repair in ourselves personally. When we consider our responsibilities for righting wrongs specific to our national history, let us consider how we might benefit from, as well as fail to fight, colonialism, capitalism, white supremacy, and imperialism, both within the U.S. and in other parts of the world.
And so, all are invited to join in each time on Let Us Be Forgiving. For words of hurt, for kind words not said, for pettiness and hasty judgment, let us be forgiving. For impatience and arrogance, for disrespect and hypocrisy, let us be forgiving. For self-absorption and lack of compassion, for remaining silent when our voices might have made a difference, let us be forgiving. For withholding our love from those who depend on us, for neglecting our heritage that teaches that our fate is bound with the oppressed of all of the world, let us be forgiving. For not doing what we could to keep alive and vibrant our people's culture, for not rising to fulfill the best that is in us, let us be forgiving.
In a free society, some are guilty, but all are responsible. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. Let us renew our commitment to working for the better world we know is possible, where Black Lives Matter always and everywhere, where we greet the humanity of all people, even those who are or seem most different from ourselves, where we recognize the sacredness of all with whom we share the world, human and other than human-like, where excellent, respectful, and compassionate healthcare is truly a right for everyone, where reproductive freedom, the right to own the personhood of one's own body, is a fundamental part of the just society for which we strive, where every child has access to a good education that allows them to be their fullest self, where no one is ever hungry or unhoused, where everyone is treasured and precious.
May we remember that our nation was built on the labor of enslaved African people. May we proclaim that Black Lives Matter and build a world where all of us are free. May we celebrate our differences and resist the forces that try to isolate and divide us. May we commit to courageously staying in struggle together, even and especially when it's messy and hard. Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. It's the struggle of a lifetime. Never ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble. You must be bold, brave, and courageous, and find a way to get in the way. John Lewis.
We are Boston Workers Circle very own Abesset Welt Yiddish Chorus. Thank you. And if you like to sing with us, no auditions needed, no knowledge of Yiddish needed, just a spirit of wanting to sing in community for a better world. We rehearse on Sunday about 3 Sundays a month, and we'll have open rehearsals next Sunday. Come talk to us if you're, not a week from tomorrow. Come talk to us if you're interested, or look on the website. Thanks. Led by our amazing music director, Derek Label David.
No miracle like a left breath in the air.
Self-reflection. Today we peer into the mirror, unsettled, squirming, poking at the soft underbelly of our lives, the kaleidoscope of feeling, thought, action, experience, tangled together to make the thorny, blossomed, leafy vine that is us. Exposed in this private public space, we conjure up the uncomfortable, the impatient moment with a toddler, the harsh word with a teenager, the angry outburst at family or friend, the insensitivity towards a coworker, the rally missed, the letter unwritten, the cause unsupported, the hostility born of fear and insecurity. From the actual to the metaphorical, we take account. Did we act with personal or collective bravery in the risky quest for social justice? Did we embrace our passionately held differences with respect and openness to each other's pain and beliefs? On this day, we squirm, prod, and pick at our wounds, weak links, moments of shame. On this day together, we inch forward, zigzagging, hoping, mending, searching for an honest face and an honest friend in this private, public reflection. And that's adapted from Alice Rothschild.
The Rebbe had a visitor, a chassid, a very rich but a very stingy man. The Rebbe took him by the hand and led him to the window, saying, "Have a look." The rich man then peered out onto the street. The Rebbe asked him, "Well, what do you see?" And the rich chassid answered, "I see people." And the Rebbe took him by the hand again and led him over to the mirror and said, "Now have a look. What do you see?" The wealthy man replied, "I see myself." The Rebbe went on, "Do you understand? The window is made of glass, and the mirror is made of glass, but the glass in the mirror has a thin silver coat, and because of the silver, you can't see other people, you see only yourself." So someone Ansky from the Dibbick.
As we make ourselves vulnerable in these expressions of atonement, Kippur, our thoughts naturally turn to those in particular need of healing in our concentric circles of community. All those who have family or friends who are ill, who are ill or in need, we invite you to rise in body or spirit as we play the music for Misha Barak. May you and your loved ones be supported and comforted in this time of need.
Yisker. I recall by Marcia Falk, interwoven with We Remember Them by Jack Reamer and Sylvan D. Kamens. All of you are invited to join in each time we say, we remember them.
I call them to mind and heart, the texture of their life, its presence in mine.
In the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them.
Images rise up and fall away, moments in the current of time.
In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them.
Tender, harsh, extraordinary, mundane.
In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them.
May the threads of memory be woven into the fabric of my life and bring healing.
When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them.
Our Jewish traditions invite us to honor our grief communally, to break from the focus on productivity, and engage in the sometimes inconvenient but always important work of grieving, so that we can honor those who might otherwise be forgotten. We take this time to remember the names of family or friends who have passed away. We will first read names that you submitted in advance to be read aloud on your behalf. Then, all who wish to call out a name, please stand up together as one row at a time, as you are able. Then take turns and call out the name so that all can hear and share in your memory. Please be seated after you have called out the name. All are invited to reflect or meditate as the sounds of these treasured names wash over our community.
Rifat Alarir, Delia Antworth, Francis Arkin, Irving Arkin, Clark Arrington, Rosa Inez Arroyo, Janet Axelrod, Marisa Bartolone, Corrado Bartolone, Stanley Becker, Judy Becker, Pam Berger, Brett Birdsall, Fred Block, Milton Blumberg, Abraham Noah Blumfield, Jason Bombaci, Henry Borkovitz, Norma Braxine, Jan Brazel, Anne and Harry Broadman, Michael Brower, J. Kim Bunland, Rita Bunland, David Cohen, Edith Cohen, Rose Cohen, Martin Cohen, Stephen Cohen, Ruth Ann Cohn, Connie Cutter, Deb Dower, Valerie Davis, Buzzy Dector, Sadie Dector, Abraham Dector, Shawnee Dowd, Jenny Dundon Duval, Helen Engelsberg, Joel Epstein, Abraham Epstein, Eddie and Joe Escamilla, Bert Escamilla Pendington, Michael Fellman, Boris Feinstein, Alex Foyer.
Sally Foreman, Elias Freeman, Regina Freeman, Molly Freeman, Nancy Felice Gabin, Ellen Ruth Gabin, George Joseph Gabin, Joanna Debs Gabin, Vicky Gabriner, Stephen Gaddis, Agnes Gallman Kamen, Larry Gildenberg, Marvin Goldberg, Shirley Goldberg, Mib Goldberg, Ruth Goldberg, Samuel Goldberg, Stephen Goldberg, Harold Goldberg, Sidney Goldman, Jerome Goldstein, Hannah Goldwater, Alma June Goosey, David Greenberg, Maida Greenberg, Sonny Haber, Saul Haber, David Harry, Jim Harvey, Juanita Hernandez, Linda Joy Hurton, Evelyn Hurton, Norman Herzberg, Milton Hindus, Eva Hindus, Rachel Halapito, Gabe Imber, Leonie Ishlove, Hannah Kalfas, Abe Kalfas, Ira Kalfas, Ruth Kalin, Marv Kalin, Norma Kane, Anne Karabatsos, Robert Cass.
Sophie Kelly, Philip Klepper, Judy Collingnian, Simon Kovar, Rose Kovar, Evelyn Brander Krames, Saul Krames, Tom Kuttner, Francis Kuttner, Larry Lambert, Louise Landau, Hannah Landis, Howard Landis, Benjamin Levin, Laura Levy, Selma and Martin Lobo, Leona Lurie, Mitchell Lurie, Arthur McDonald, Robert McDonald, Margaret McDonald, Rose Morris, Karen Martin, David Matathia, Teresa Minkin, Edward Minkin, Paul Mishler, Gail Namias, Matt Nelson, Karen Oil, Margaret Elise Oriole, Cleco Parker, Bernice Pierce, Julia Perez Kennedy, Edith Pliskin, Ben Pliskin, Leonard and Shirley Posner, Ed Pressman, Ruth Pruce, Lori Probst, Adi Rabinovitz, Manny Rachelson, Sydney Radwin, Deborah Wadwin, Hind Rajab,
Charlie Rasmussen, Dora Rutkowski, Gloria Reese, Alan Reese, Sophie and Shmuel Rissig, Carl Rosen, Larry Rosenberg, Luane Rosenberg, Merwin Rosenberg, Stanley J. Rosenberg, Eric Rosenberg, Michael Rosenthal, Anne Rosenthal, Sue Rosenthal, Adeline Salomon, Richard Salomon, Marilyn Shea, Charles Schiff, George Sieg, Pearl Rhoda Shake, Joseph Philip Shake, Ron Shansky, Sam Sherwood, Ira Shuckman, Wayne Silverman, Bruce Slater, Marcy Slater, Helen Smith, Stanley Smith, Julie Smith Bartoloni, Louis Smullen, Ruth Smullen, Frank Smullen, Sarah Taub, John Terranova, Adam Timrud, Niels Vest, Sandy Wakerman, Karen Weber, Edward Weiner, Hazel Weiner Bonfield, Jesse Weinstein, Eleanor Weinstein, Kevin West, Michael White,
Francis and Howard Weiner, Zelda Wool, Wendy Worrell, Martin Zelser.
Julian, Dorothy, Louise, Nicholson, Ruth Kagan, Will Tweeting, Bruce Bauer, Will Feldman, Paul Nicholson, Steve Silva, Leslie Phillips, Lee Lefkowitz, Auburn Petrosky, Bernie Barron, Mary Simpson, Deborah Lower, Jim Nicholson, Larry Ryan, Paul Chernoff, Katie Callaghan, David Wrench, Liza Kitchell, and Angie Ginsburg.
Vanya Wazowski, Maddie Simon. Ruth Parker, Raskin, Shirley Soto.
Herschel Hartman, Ira Polanski.
Olav Hashalom, may they rest in peace.
It is an ancient custom to kindle a yahrzeit candle and recite Kaddish for the departed. We invite you to rise in body or spirit and say Kaddish. Yisgadal v'yisgadash shemei Rabbah, bi'amal divro chirusei v'yamlich malchusei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beis Yisrael, Ba'gala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach leolam olmei olmaya. Yisbarach v'yistabach v'yispa'ar v'yisroman v'yisnaseh. V'yishador v'yisaleh v'yisalal shemei dekudasha brechu. Le'e lo min kol birchosa v'shirosa. Tush bechasa v'nechamasa da'amiran mi'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom alenu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
We'll sing the melody of this song a couple times so you all can sing along with us.
Bedeckt die Groß mit
Blessed is the match consumed in kindling flame. Within the heart, blessed is the heart with strength to stop for honor's sake. Blessed is the match consumed in fire.
Making peace and working for justice and aiming this properly. Okay. Making peace, working for justice. Even more this year than in years past, we continue to grapple with the ongoing question of peace and justice for Palestinians and Israelis. Some of us throw ourselves into this work, and others are weary of all the unending misery and turmoil. We may find strength and renewed energy from the following parable. A learned rabbi was asked, "Rabbi, how can you tell exactly when the night is over and the day has begun? Is it when you walk in the forest and can tell the difference between a wolf and a dog?" "No," the rabbi replied. "Is it when you walk in town and can see where the roof of one house ends and the roof of the next house begins?" "No," the rabbi replied. "So, how can you tell when the night is over?" And the rabbi answered, "When you can see the face of a stranger and recognize a sibling, then that is when the night is truly over."
The Talmud says, "Who's the hero? The one who turns an enemy into a friend." The essence of our Jewish heritage is the love of justice and the moral concept of human freedom and dignity. May that heritage guide us in our behavior towards those with whom we have conflict, not just our friends. The great sage Hillel said, "If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I'm only for myself, who am I? If not now, when?" Adrian Rich added, "If not with others, how?"
A few reasons to oppose the war. Because wind sows in the branches of trees like blood sighing through veins. Because in each country there are songs huddled like wet feathered birds. Because even though the news has nothing new to say and keeps on saying it, no still fights its way into the world. Because for every bomb that is readied, a baby nestles into her mother, latches onto a nipple beaded with milk. Because the tulips have waited all winter in the cold, dark earth. Because each morning the wildflowers outside my window raise their yellow faces to the sun. Because we are all so helplessly in love with the light. Lisa Suhar Majaj.
Did we remember and act on our particular power as American Jews when we speak out against Israel's war in Gaza, its illegal occupation of the Palestinian territories, its treatment of the Palestinian people? Did we remember and act on our particular power and moral obligation as U.S. Jews to say publicly, not in our name, to our own country's political, military, and financial support of the Israeli government's policies?
May we have the courage to work for peace with justice in Israel-Palestine, around the world and at home, where our national soul is threatened by growing anti-Semitic, racist, Islamophobic, anti-immigrant, homophobic, transphobic, and misogynistic attacks and more extreme versions of hate. And let us commit ourselves to ensuring more just and equitable voting systems. Let us examine our own neighborhoods and ask whose voices are not represented and what needs to change. With 1 month to Election Day, let's help get out the vote and let every voice be heard.
This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice, the sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
This is the sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it will turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
It's my honor today to introduce our Devarist, Dan Gelbtuk, right here. Dan was born in Boston and grew up with his 3 siblings here. Dan has extensive experience as a youth organizer, most extensively as an organizer and then director of the Dorchester Bay Youth Force. He's currently exploring how to connect his spiritual path and his organizing work, currently through his work at 2 organizations, Kirva and the Episcopal City Mission, ECM. Currently, Dan is the lead organizer for Kirva and is particularly excited about his collaboration with the organization Dayenu to build a curriculum that supports Jewish climate activists, as well as the work he's doing as part of Kirva's Dismantling Racism from the Inside Out project. At ECM, Dan is co-director of the philanthropy team and in particular has recently launched a program to give grants to grassroots community organizing groups. And Dan lives in Dorchester with his family. So excited to welcome Dan to share Devar with us today.
Sorry, Jesse. Oh, sorry. Oh. Good Yontif, Shana Tova. It was actually really special following that song. We used to sing that song before Hannah was born, when she was in Leah's tummy. So I didn't know that. That's really special, following one voice. It is such a joy and honor to be speaking to this beloved community. My teacher, Gibran Rivera, says that the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is fear. I know a thing or two about fear. As the grandson of Holocaust survivors, as someone with quite a bit of anxiety, fear has been a regular part of my life, especially these days. Like many people, back in 2016, I thought Trump could never win. When he did, I collapsed to the ground in a state of panic and overwhelm and fear. The trauma that had been passed down through Bubby and Zeta was lodged in my body. It became activated that November night back in 2016. Between the rise of fascism in this country, going through the early days of COVID with 2 little kids, October 7th, and the unconscionable destruction in Gaza that followed, and that is spreading, and the general instability of this moment, I often find myself in a state of hypervigilance. Fear feels like a constant companion. I grew up white and middle class around the corner from here in West Roxbury. My childhood was one of stability and privilege, but I was the first generation in my family to experience this. My dad was born in a displaced persons camp in Bayreuth, outside of Munich. He moved to Providence with my Bubby and Zeta when he was 10 months old. They started their journey in this country as penniless refugees, having just lost most of their families in the Holocaust, having spent the last several years hiding out on farms and in forests. While the exact details of these traumas were rarely spoken, and I am still piecing them together, I could sense them. My family history feels like a different universe than the one I am currently raising my kids in. Still, this history of oppression and the fear it generates are never too far away. A year or two ago, my daughter Hannah asked me one day, "Dad, why does everyone hate the Jews?" This question shook me to my core, dredged up the fear and despair that always seemed to be just below the surface. I had no idea how to answer her. I have also known love. I was blessed to grow up in a loving family, in a series of wonderful, deeply loving Jewish communities, Salman Schechter Day School, Temple Hill B'nai Torah, Camp Yavneh. The Black feminist writer Bell Hooks defines love as the willingness to exert oneself for the spiritual development of yourself or another person. There have been so many people in my life who have loved me in this way. When I was an incredibly obnoxious 15-year-old, my camp counselor, Aaron Tapper, pulled me aside and said, "Dan, you are clearly a leader. You can lead people in a negative direction or a positive one. Make a choice." He has been a mentor of mine for the past 30 years. In my nearly 20-year career as a community organizer, I have been loved by so many who saw potential in me that I could not see, and who extended themselves for my development. Cherry, Carlos, Lou, Seth, Elena, Neha, Najma, and so many others. I am enormously blessed to live with 3 people who love me deeply. Enveloped in Leah's love, Hannah's love, Jesse's love, who just turned 5 yesterday. Happy birthday. I have been loved in this way by many people in this room, by this community. Hannah has been as well. Her experience in the BWC Shola has been one of love from people like Meira, Rosa, Matt, Mona, Eric, and Polly, who have modeled a Jewishness rooted in community and connection. Love and fear are both so present for me, both always present, in my mind, in my body, in my lineage. They both feel especially present in this current moment we find ourselves in. A lot of times, I just desperately want my fear to go away. I desperately want to feel safe in my body. My drug of choice was not alcohol or drugs. It was worrying about the future. I thought I could avoid feeling fear by spending a lot of energy worrying about the things I was fearful about. I am addicted to being in control. It is truly a dead end. We are witnessing so many dead ends, so much violence, so much destruction, so much pain in our collective unwillingness to feel fear. Our refusal to be with this hard emotion, to try to understand the historical and collective trauma behind it, to try to understand it in our bodies and in our culture. My friend Rachel Plattis told me, what the world needs is Jews who can feel. When I witnessed the ways that many in the Jewish community, many people I love and grew up with, are unwilling to make emotional space for the immense suffering of Palestinians in Gaza, it feels like unprocessed fear to me. I recognize the trauma of needing to feel safe at all costs, and how that often prevents us from seeing the humanity of others. As we read today, how do we know that morning has come? When we look into the face of a stranger and see a sibling. When the morning comes, my hope is that we will all see, that our liberation as Jews is bound up with the liberation of all people. I made the courageous decision to try and feel my fear, to be with it instead of trying to run away from it, and it has been transformative. Feeling fear has opened me up to love, to connection, to knowing myself better. As Leonard Cohen beautifully stated, there is a crack in everything. That is where the light gets in. To be clear, this is still very much a journey for me. These last couple of months leading up to the election have been fear-filled and difficult, but I can say it is a journey worth traveling. It is hard to feel. We can't be alone in feeling our fear. We need community. When Hannah asked me that hard question, I called up my friend Meira, who is the BWC Education Director. Like a good organizer, community builder, and someone who embodies love, Meira lifted me out of my fear and isolation and helped me connect to other Shula parents trying to make sense of their role as parents in our unstable world. Rebecca, the BWC Executive Director, myself, and BWC member Betsy Abrams started a parenting group at Shula to offer space for BWC parents to be in community, a space for connection, belonging, and feeling. These gatherings have become even more acute following October 7th, as we were all so full of confusion and fear and heartbreak and desperately wanted to be in community around these hard feelings. We gather every few months to share how we are struggling to be less isolated and alone and make sense of the moment that we are in. It is truly a gift. I am so grateful for that community and for this larger community. This process of collective healing will, of course, not end the violence in Gaza and Lebanon or the oppression we see all around us in this country. But I do believe it will make us more whole, more able to face the challenges of the world with open hearts. And I do believe that this is the key to building the Besser Welt we all yearn for. Chag Sameach.
Hi, everyone. My name is Allie Rice, and I am Boston Worker Circle's Deputy Director. I'm so honored to be here with you all marking Yom Kippur together in community. I want to start with some thank yous, and I hate doing this, but I think we should hold the clapping till the end of all the people that I name, clapping or snapping. I'm going to start with the Ritual Committee, the incredible chair, Linda Gritz, Amy Pett, Rochelle Ruthchild, Polly Katz, and Zohar Berman. The Logistics Committee, Bob Follensby, Michelle Golden, Sandy Martin, and Zohar Berman. The staff, Zohar Berman, Sandy Martin, me, Melissa Sawyer-Greer, Mayura Soloff, Rebecca Zimmerman-Hornstein, and Julie Feinberg. The band, Lisa Gallatin, Phoebe Rosen, Noli Rosen, Bob Follensby, Michael Frank, Dan Shore, Polly Katz, and Linda Gritz. I also want to note that Zohar Berman is named 3 times already, so they really have done so much to make today special. So just want to really acknowledge their work, and so many others, but just uplifting Zohar especially. Our shofar blower, Cosmo Bargava. Our ASL interpreters, Ellen Vershbau and Rainey Lee. Photography by Mira Whiting and Tess Shefflin. Elliott Church, our hosts, and especially Richard Stroshane, thank you. Our sound engineer here in the sanctuary, engineers plural, Mike Katz, Rahul Bargava, and Andrew Cohen. Our live stream, Andrew Nicastro of Streamography. Our children's program, which was run by Mayura Soloff and Mateo Rojas, with helpers Cora and Aviva Hertz and Elias Raisler-Cohn. Our incredible divarist, Dan Gelbtuck. Thank you so much, Dan. That was extremely meaningful and beautiful. And to all of our readers and volunteers, for which there are too many to name, but thank you to each of you. I want to share briefly about some clap, now is the time. I knew I was going to forget something. Upcoming events. So we have several upcoming events specifically designed to welcome in new people to our community. So please see the flyer in your Machzor for more information. In particular, we have a new member event coming up at the end of October, and we also have a post-election Shabbos as well. For people online, you can find this flyer at the link provided in the live stream chat. And everyone can find our full calendar at circleboston.org and then scroll down and you'll find it. If you have any feedback, please let us know what you thought of our High Holidays program. On the last page of the program, you can fill out an evaluation form. There's also one online. Additionally, if you're not a Worker Circle member yet, please consider joining our wonderful community by becoming a member. Just this week, we hit 860 BWC members. So we're really growing. Help us hit 900. It's more important than ever that BWC flourishes and grows as a Jewish community, and membership and donation information is at circleboston.org, but also in the back of your program. And finally, if you can bring your programs out with you and either keep them and take them home or place them in one of the provided boxes near the exit, that would be great. And then if you do provide feedback or become a member, you can rip that page off and put it in a separate area. Thank you all. Good Yom Tov.
So we'll all learn this song together. And then sing it as a chant. Come on, singers. It's a call and response. Salam. Salam. Shalom. Shalom. Then all together, you do not walk alone. We will walk with you, together, how the road to peace is long. Salam, Salam. Shalom, with you, though the road to peace is long. Feel free to add harmony. Salam, salam, shalom, shalom. You do not walk alone. We will walk with you, though the road to peace is long. One more time with lots of harmony. Salam, salam, shalom, shalom. You do not walk alone. We will walk with you, though the road to peace is long. Beautiful.
Okay. Whether we did apples in honey or in sugar or in sweetened ground sesame seeds to usher in a healthy and sweet new year, Jews around the world share a common bond. As we say in Ladino, todos los dedos de la mano no son unos. All the fingers of the hand are not the same.
Is Roberta here for this reading? No. Okay. Blowing the shofar. We declare the utter sanctity of this day, for it is an awe-filled day. A great shofar is sounded, and a voice of slender silence is heard. The voice is one's own, a reed in the chorus, a breath in the wind. These are the final moments when the gates stand open, when the book of life is not yet sealed. Between blasts, we hear an aching silence, and in each blast we hear a deeper silence, our own silence of yearning and craving and striving to live justly. The days of awe have asked us to hear that sound, to turn and act and respond.
In these final blasts of the shofar, hear all of our sounds. Hear tekiah, one long note for the sounding of the alarm, the sound of remembrance. Hear shevarim, 3 sets of 2 notes, with each low note reminding us that life may bring fear, frustration, tragedy, and sorrow. And each high note of hope that life will also bring us happiness and serenity. Hear teruah, 9 short notes for the call to action, the call to the never-ending struggle for peace, justice, and human decency. Here finally, the last shofar call, tekiah gedolah, is held for as long as possible. While the shofar sounds, the gates and the book remain open. Until the final blast ends, the gate of possibility is open. Let us, each of us in our own way, with our own words and thoughts, and with whatever energy we can muster, resolve to live honestly, true to our beliefs and values, take that final step through the gates and meet on the other side together as a community, dedicated to life, to peace, to making our lives better, and to making the world a better place and more just and beautiful place. Call out the shofar's notes and it will answer. Tekiah. Shavarim. Teruah. Tekiah Gadolah. Let's call it again. Let's call it again. Tekiah Gadolah.
The shofar has called us awake. With its sound in resonance with our own, we remember the world we strive to create. We remember what we have resolved to become. Ne'ilah. The gates of the days of awe are closing. We have gathered together in ritual, in contemplation, in song. We have knocked on our hearts, imploring them to open. We have tried with all our might to forgive ourselves our missed marks. And now the gates are closing. But there is still work to be done with our hearts and with our hands. The gates are closing. This is the moment where we make the turn. Teshuvah, turning our lives around, returning to our highest selves. Bring more light to the world. More sustenance, more shelter, for those in darkness, for those in need, for everyone. Adapted from Rabbi Rachel Barenblatt's blog, The Velveteen Rabbi.
Thank you all so much. As we move into our final reading and our final song, I would like to invite parents and guardians to come around the back side here to pick up your young people. Thank you.
Okay. Good Yontef, good Jor. A happy and healthy new year to all. In Ladino, que tengas muchos años, añada buena. May you have many years, happy new year. May we all turn to hit the mark for a more beautiful world, a schneret vel and a better world, a beseret vel.
Give me a D chord. We're going to keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're going to keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. You can face each other. You're going to keep on, light the way together. Light the way together. Light the way together. Never turning back. Never turning back. We're going to show our children courage. Show our children courage. Show our children courage. Never turning
gonna keep on moving forward.
Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Good job, good job.